We are joined by the University of Miami coach Jim Larranaga, as well as the athletes starting from the far left, Wooga Poplar, Nijel and Norchad Omier. And we will open with the comments from the coach.
Well, that was a heck of a win. I was so impressed with Drake's defense. We had read about it, we saw it on tape, but not until you play against it. We kept telling our players, you can't take a second dribble into the paint because they're going to swipe it. And we started the game with like 3 straight turnovers. And we took an ill-advised 3. We threw a long pass right out of bounds. And so we did not play a very strong first half. A lot of credit has to go to Drake. But the guys really rallied in the second half. We made some adjustments with what we were doing offensively. We really stepped up defensively. Norchad was a monster on the boards with 14 rebounds. And then Wooga and Nijel were just sensational at the offensive end, making 3s, making 2s, finding the open man. And it takes a lot to survive, and we fortunately survived today.
We're going to start with questions for the student athletes, please, okay? And we'll start here, front row on the right, and then come left.
Gary Furman, Canesport.com. Nijel, you guys put together a 16-1 run to end the game. I mean, you were a fixture of calmness throughout that. Talk a little bit about what was going through your head as that moment evolved.
Yeah, we went to the last media timeout, and I was like, man, this can't be the way how it ends. And I talked to my teammates. I feel like they felt the same way. We kind of brought some inner energy from within us. We picked up our defensive pressure. We were able to pressure them and get some steals and kind of put them on their heels. And, we kind of got the ball rolling. We were able to get, to a tie game, and then we had to make a big shot, get a stop, and that's what it came down to, making big shots, and then we made our free throws at the end to close the game out.
Front row here left.
Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald. Norchad, I wanted to just ask, was there ever any question that you were going to play, or you knew that you were going to play, and how did you feel going out there? What responsibility did you feel that you had to this team, and why the smile?
No, I'm just smiling all the time. And, it was up to my coaches and athletic trainers, doctors that helped me. We just spent endless hours in the training room getting treatment. I wanted to help my teammates. They come out here, work hard. I just wanted to be there, support them, and, have their back.
Right here in the middle here, 4 rows with the race
Michael
jacket.
Rothstein from ESPN. Really, it's for any of the players. When you all came out after warm-ups at halftime, it seemed like everybody was kind of glancing up at the big screen. What's going through y'all's heads when you're seeing what's going on somewhere else? And obviously you see the final seconds of it, but what you're seeing with what's going on with Fairleigh Dickinson at that point.
Did Purdue end up losing that? Yeah, this is what March is all about. I mean, every team in this tournament is really, really talented. The seed, I feel like the seed number next to your name really doesn't matter at all. Every team is really good. That's how we came out today. I mean, Drake is a really good team. They could have been 12 seed and we were 5 seed, but the seed doesn't really matter. And I feel like we played really, really hard. But at the end of the day, no matter what seed we get next or we play next, we got to keep the same mentality out when we come out.
Here. Yeah, go ahead.
Dalton Godby with WDRB out of Louisville. Nijel, I wanted to ask you, obviously Indiana still has to play, but if they were to win, that's who you guys would face. What does that mean to you coming out of high school from Indianapolis? Does it have a little bit more meaning?
Yeah, no, you can't worry about things like that. I mean, whoever we end up playing, I got to keep the same mindset. My teammates got to keep the same mindset to go out and play our game. No matter the opposing team jersey, we got to worry about Miami and what Miami does best.
Right here. Come over here.
Luke Cheney, Lifehold Sports. Wooga, you had 15 points. Just talk about your performance and the run you guys had at the end.
It was basically just my teammates. My teammates just give me the confidence to shoot the ball, and basically that's it. That's all.
Okay, we'll head to the left in front row.
Man, a few words.
Nijel, how big of an emotional lift was it to know that Norchad was going to be able to play and start today? What did that do for the team, even though it was a slow start, but how much did it mean to have him in the game?
Yeah, it was great. We knew he was a warrior, and see him go out, no matter, I don't know how much % well he feels, but to see him go out here and play his hardest, and he still had, a double-double. It just means a lot. I mean, he cares so much about this team. He knows how important this March Madness tournament is to us and to himself. To see her come out here and fight, it really shows.
Time for one more athlete. Stay there.
I think it was a final media timeout. Jordan Miller gathered you guys around, and he gave you some kind of talk. He had like a long little chat with you guys. What was his message at that point? Because he and Isaiah were struggling. I don't know, what was his message to you guys at that moment?
We knew this was the last media. We had the last media timeout. We knew we had, I think it was about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. We were like, man, we got to leave it all on the court. I mean, there's nothing else. After this, if we lose, we're done. Like, there's no other games, so we leave it all on the court. So that's basically what he told us. I feel like we went out there and did that. We got, some stops and some big shots from this guy, Wooga, right next to me, and we were back in the game.
Thank you, student athletes, for your time.
Good job, guys.
Thank you again. Good luck, son. Good luck, Coach. We'll now take questions for Coach Jim Larranaga. Second row.
Alyssa Hurdle from the Des Moines Register. Yesterday, you described Tucker DeVries as a versatile player, someone that would be tough to cover. He was 1 of 13 tonight, so yeah, he got off 13 shots. But what did you guys do well for those to not be clean shots?
Well, there were several guys responsible for guarding him. The one most responsible was Wooga Poplar. So not only did he play a great offensive game, he played a great defensive game. He got rest. Harlan Beverly went in and did a good job on him. Same result. Then at the end of the game with Wooga and 4 fouls, we took him out because we didn't want him to foul out in case we needed him on offense. Jordan Miller went to him and did a terrific job. And then we switched quite a bit. And even Nigel Pack would switch on to him and try to keep him from catching the ball in his sweet spots. So overall, a great team effort, but a lot of individual efforts too.
Front row here, then we'll stay in the front row.
Jim, how worried were you? How nervous or worried were you? And especially with Isaiah and Jordan had always been just such calm leaders, veteran leaders, and they were struggling. At what moment did you think you guys really were going to win this game?
Well, if you're asking that, I knew as soon as the final horn sounded. There's never a time that as a coach I ever think the game is over. There's just too many strange things that can happen. And, we didn't have any timeouts left, and they came up and pressed. If they had made a shot and were pressing, we turned it over. I can't call it timeout. I can't sub or anything like that. But here's what I would say about our team. We've been in so many close games throughout the season, and this was just another one of those nights. Jordan didn't have a particularly good night. Isaiah didn't, but Wooga and Nigel had terrific nights. Bensley Joseph came in, did a great job defensively. So it takes a total team effort to win a game like that.
Paul Snyder from the Montauk Sun. With the off night that both Isaiah and Jordan had, in the last 2 minutes, you pressed them full court, and I thought that won the game for you. And, you ended up on that nice run at the end. Did you think maybe you should have started that earlier, and did it win the game for you?
Well, first of all, there's no way we're starting that earlier. We felt like at that point, now the pressure is on them. During the game, there's no pressure. You're up 6, you're up 8. They can run right through the press because they're going to still be in attack mode. What happens to teams when they get ahead, they start to play it safe. And that's basically what happened. We got some turnovers. Jordan Miller was terrific of pressuring the ball. We got a good trap. And then I know Nigel got a steal, and I think he hit a 3. Wooga Poplar got a steal, and he ended up getting fouled on a transition, and he made 2 free throws. A lot of things have to happen in our favor at that point, and they did.
Okay, back here front.
Jim, what did you tell the team at halftime? What was your message to them at that
Well,
point?
the offenses we normally run, we have a whole series. You might call it a package versus certain defenses. And we tried to run. We didn't think they would pressure us that well. So at halftime, I talked to the coaches, and we were trying to figure out what we can do to soften up that pressure. And so we just decided what I like to do against Carolina and Duke is set up a ton of ball screens and make their big guys have to come out and guard it. So Brody was tremendous at the offensive end, and he made some terrific defensive plays. He had several blocks, but we wanted him away from the basket. And Nijel was able to use Norchad as a ball screener and get some shots. And once he did, the guys were sharing the ball. Wooga got those same shots. So, you know, it was a good adjustment, but it's the players that have to make that work.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.